up, guys? It's Larry coming at you from trollandtoad.com.
And Mark.
And Mark. Mark's here with us today, guys. And today we're going to be busting open something really, really awesome. And one of my personal favorite parts of Magic the Gathering is Commander. We have our new Commander 2017 decks. Now, these are, have a special theme to them like most Commander sets do every year. Mark, I don't know if you know that.
I don't know that.
Yeah, most of them, they have a trend or a theme that they do. This year is Tribal. Like, Tribal is, something that, a lot of Commander players like to do. You usually have, Sliver Tribal, you have, Eldrazi Tribal, but this year we have Dragons, we have Vampires, we have, Wizards, Vampires, and we have Cats. Now, they're not nice kitties.
Arabo, Roar of the World.
All right, he's brutal, man.
That's my favorite one that I see. I just like the art on the.
Oh yeah, he reminds me a lot of a Johnny. But we're gonna go with.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah. He definitely looks like he's part of a Johnny's clan, probably.
Yeah, he would be. In my mind, he is.
But we're gonna go with old Edgar Markov, which is Vampires is one of my favorites tribes in the game because I'm an old golf kid. I can't help myself. Hot Topic was, my place to be.
Yeah, was that your spot?
Yeah, that and Spencer's, but Spencer's is not very classy, so.
It's not very sketchy for you.
Nah. Yeah, I went in there not too long ago with my wife, actually. But these are nice because they're fully pre-constructed Commander decks. You can buy these and literally jump into a pod of 4 with your friends and just straight up start playing right out of the box. And they're actually really decently competitive for what you get out of them. And one of the sweet things is it comes with its own deck box to start off with. Plus you get the really big promo that you can either use as your commander if you want to be that guy, or you could use it as just with the giant Pokemon cards, you can use them just to put on your wall, have something cool to look at. So we'll go ahead and show you that real quick. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, ain't it?
I'll take that.
Here, let Spirit Dragon here take care of that for me.
Spirit Dragon. I'm one of the twin Twilight Dragons. You might have heard of us, Bimmy and Jimmy. Go ahead, Dave. Let's take us over to the 4Ks. Take a look at this. Edgar Markov. Mr. Markov.
Yeah,
legendary creature, Vampire Knight. He Eminence, which I like a lot. I don't know a few of the creatures have Eminence. I can't remember, I believe but either way, whenever you cast another Vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in the command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black Vampire creature token that has first strike and haste. Or he has first strike and haste. And whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each Vampire you control. Though remember, this is an oversized card, but there is the regular size card in there.
Yeah, the Edgar Markov is actually, I think it's the grandfather or great-grandfather of Soren Markov, which is a planeswalker in the game.
Not like the great-grandfather of Vlad the Impaler.
No.
Vlad,
old Alucard.
I seen a license plate one time that said Vlad the Impala.
Vlad the Impala, that's pretty sick.
And my buddy, my brother actually played, what's that game that everybody plays? Clash of Clans? Yeah, Clash of Clans.
Yeah, Clash of Clans I've heard of it. I'm not a real big fan of the mobile games, but I've heard of it.
Well, that's the one thing that he plays for some reason, and he loves it. And his character's name is Vlad the Inhaler.
Because vampires have asthma sometimes.
Sometimes they have, yeah.
But yeah, Edgar Markov is, like I said, he's the great-grandfather or grandfather of Soren Markov, and Soren, is always one of my favorite planeswalkers. And I'm sure his, grandfather, who's really strong. Yeah, he has Immense, which whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in the command zone or on the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token. He also has first strike and haste, which is not bad for his mana cost. And when Edgar Markov attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each vampire you control.
I just totally read that too, but I'm glad we both did because that's actually a really powerful card when you really think about it.
Oh yeah, it's really, really strong.
Especially with that new mechanic. Is Imminence a new mechanic?
Yeah, it's new to this specific set of commanders. If they're in the command zone, they don't have to be in play for their effects to activate, which is really sweet for their second part of their effects. So we'll go with our next card here.
What is the next card?
We have
sweet
Lycia.
Ooh, a little hollow.
Yeah, it's another foil.
The Sanguine Tribune.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
Sanguine is it's more or less like a sacrifice for the greater good, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. That's for sure.
Lucia Sanguine Tribune. She's really sweet. She can also be one of the commanders that can use. You don't have to use Edgar to your commander. You can use any of the.
I would just because he's on the front of the box. They made the oversize of him.
But if you want to be that person, you know, and like switch it up, you can.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
you want
switch it up.
Country. But
he's got lifelink too.
Oh yeah, which is really sweet, and it has if it costs a tribute costs 1 less to cast for each 1 life you gain this turn. So if you gain a bunch of lives, you can make it a lot cheaper. You can make it 3 mana, you know, sometimes. And it has ability, you can pay 5 life and put 3/1/1 counters on it, and the ability can only be activated on your turn and only once each turn. So you can pay a little, get a little. That's essentially what a lot of vampires do.
Yep.
So that was really cool about that. And we also have this sweet card, Marthas, that we will show you. Mathis. Sorry, can't read sometimes.
Not like Mattias.
No, Mathis, the Fiend Seeker. So our black, white, red, which is your Mardu colors. We have a 3/3 of a menace. And at the beginning of your end step, put a bounty counter on target creature and opponent controls. For as long as that creature has a bounty counter on it, it has when the creature dies, each opponent draws a card and gains 2 life. Well, I mean, that could be kind of a setback, but could also be, you know, like politics. There's a lot of politics in a pot of commander. Like, you'll be like, with your buddy, like, hey, let's gang up on this guy, get him out of the game, then me and you will finish it out later.
That's pretty cutthroat, and I dig it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm down.
There's a lot of politics, you know. So, we'll go through here, see if we can find out some awesome, like, cards that are really either reprints or, you know, new cards to the set. So, we have a good old removal spell that has seen a lot of play over the years. Go for the Throat.
Go for the throat.
This seen a lot of play back in Scars of Myriad block as a really good removal spell because it could kill just destroy target non-artifact creature. So that's one of the things that like Doomblade's always been a thing. Terror, those type of effects like where they usually can only kill anything but a black creature. But as long as it's a non-artifact creature, you can kill it for 2 mana at instant speed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really strong ability.
Can you use commander cards in casual?
Yeah, casual play you can use them, and legacy play. Sometimes they come out with cards commander that are so good that you can play them in legacy, and they actually see a lot of play. Which is really sweet. So we'll keep going on here.
I figured that's a really good card I can use against Dave.
Oh yeah, Dave. I don't know, man. Dave plays
because I could just destroy. Boom! As soon as he pulls that, what was it? Oketra that you got the other day? You got Oketra?
Well, Oketra has indestructible.
Oh, you're not using her? Oh, it pulls her out, right? It goes right back to his hand.
No, Oketra, you cannot kill something as indestructible. You can only give it a -/- and like make it die that way, or exile it. That's the only 2 ways you can kill indestructible.
Never mind. I don't want this card, but that's fine. I've got a card. I got a couple cards up my sleeve that are exiles. Boom, like Path to Exile.
Right. Path to Exile definitely works.
Huh?
Or you can use the next card that I found here, which is this sweet card, Swords to Plowshares, which is technically one of the best removal spells in the game. Card. Is one of the best removal spells in the game, hands down. This card has seen play ever since it's been printed back in the old days of like,
I've
alpha
got a couple
beta.
of these, Dave.
Like this card can date back, over 25, I think it's 25 years now, back in the alpha beta days of Magic, where you just pay a mana, exile target creature, and its controller gains life equal to its power, which, is definitely not the bad setback whenever you got a creature that's killing you for what it's worth. So that card's always been a really good staple of Legacy, Vintage, any commander, any format like that. It's always been a huge staple. So we'll go on to my favorite vampire probably of all time. Which is Blood Artist.
Blood Artist?
Blood Artist. Now, if you played Magic, I think it's 3, maybe 4 years ago in Standard, you had a deck called the Aristocrats.
Have you ever heard the joke, the Aristocrats?
Oh God, it's so bad.
It's so horrible.
It's so bad.
Whatever you do not Google the Aristocrats after you watch this video.
But this is definitely not that kind of Aristocrats, except they pretty much sacrifice their own to benefit and win the game. So whenever Blood Artist or another creature dies, target player loses a life and you gain a life. So what you can do is if you have a sack outlet and a bunch of little creature tokens or something like that, you can sack the creature tokens to a creature that can use in the sack, and then you can just machine gun your opponent down. You can do this in a multiplayer game, like really easy. So we'll go on to the next card here. See if we can find us a sweet one. All right, here's another one of my favorite vampires. Ye old vampire Nighthawk.
You know who's my favorite vampire?
Who?
Dracula.
Come on, man. That's
He's the
just,
OG, man.
that's true, but
Original
Vlad the Impaler, you know, he would just impale people. Like,
Yeah.
he's just brutal, man. But old vampire Nighthawk was, you know, my favorite, and that's because he has flying, death touch, and lifelink.
Wow.
So for 3 mana, you get a 2/3. That's pretty much one of the better walls that you could have for that cost. And it can be aggressive, it can be defensive, it can make your opponent just hate their life because they can never attack you without losing something, and you're just always going to gain something as long as they don't, you know, use a removal spell on it.
And death touch that doesn't work on indestructible creatures. Though.
No, it definitely doesn't work on indestructible creatures.
See, because I got that Ronus, the Indomitable, and he's got death touch and indestructible.
Yeah.
So
he's hard to deal with.
Oh yeah, I pulled the invocation out of a bundle.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the
That's really
masterpiece.
sweet,
Yeah.
man.
I was excited. Dave was so mad.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he's a little salty.
A little salty. Yeah, he's built his deck specifically to
Right.
make sure that I don't, or when I do use it.
You guys
I'm just
don't
in
even want to
trouble.
play with me. I make you both, man.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm that good, but
I'm saying I'm that bad. It's okay. I won't be hurt.
all right, we're gonna go on to another card that's really sweet. It's a Vampire Lord called Stormkirk Captain.
Stormkirk Captain.
Now, Stormkirk Captain gives all your
Stone
other...
Cold? No.
Yeah, he's pretty much the Stone Cold of the vampire world. He gives all of your other vampires +1/+1 and first strike. Now, first strike, if you don't know, works like when you do combat with your opponent's monsters, and you actually do damage before they do. Like, it's really sweet. Whenever, like, say you attack and they block, you'll do your 2 damage first. So if they have a 2/2, you kill their 2/2 before it even does damage to you. So that's, you know, like, in combat, it's one of your better mechanics that you can have.
I hate to tell Dave, but I've actually been throwing I got some wrenches I'm gonna throw in his spokes because he's been
Oh,
telling
really?
me all about his plan. He's just gonna play around, Ronus. No, I got some ideas.
Yeah,
You're in trouble, buddy.
You gonna blow them out of the water, man?
No, probably not. I'm probably gonna. Hey, the God's honest truth. I'm probably gonna build a deck that just doesn't work.
Right.
That's probably what's gonna happen. I mean, it's the first one I'm building ever, so.
I mean, you know, like, you could, man, if you want to, you can bring it to me and I'll give you some pointers on how to make it better. Like, we'll just get to that point and we'll hang out and I'll be like, hey man, this is what you need to do to make it viable.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's not right now.
Right. So we're gonna go on to the next card here, which is Soul Ring, which is a staple, again. A staple of Commander. And you usually can get this in pretty much you can get this in any of these Commander decks, guaranteed. Like, Soul Ring's been reprinted so many times, it's ridiculous. But, you know, it's been a staple card in Vintage and, you know, Commander and Casual all the time because it's a 1 mana, gives you 2 mana.
2 mana, it's just 2 colorless mana.
Yeah, 2 colorless mana.
Yeah, okay.
But the acceleration is just hard to beat. Like, anybody, if you're in Commander and your opponent goes turn 1 Soul Ring, you already feel like you're behind because, you know, they're going to tap and can play a 4-drop.
Yeah.
So you just feel so behind if you don't have that out, or, you know, when you do have it out, you're just pretty much 2 turns ahead of everybody. So that's awesome. All right, so we have a sweet new card for this Commander deck alone, and it's called New Blood.
New Blood.
So let's see what the new Blood does.
For anybody at home that doesn't know, my new job is specifically to say the names of these in a really like manly New Blood.
He's got
way.
it.
Yeah.
And he's doing tremendous about
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
As an additional cost to cast New Blood, tap an untapped vampire you control. Gain control of target creature. Change the text of that creature by replacing all instances of one creature type with vampire. So you literally just steal your opponent's best creature and turn it into a vampire for yourself.
That's awesome.
Right, like, on the art is Olivia. Olivia is one of the better vampires that, you know, from Innistrad. She, you know, had a reprint, or not reprint technically, but had a new card made recently in Shadows over Innistrad. But her old card, you actually could take your opponent's cards and turn them into vampires and keep them yourself too. So this is pretty much that on a, you know, sorcery, which is really sweet. Like, it makes your opponent really, really upset when you take their best creature, though, I will say. So if you want to make some enemies, you'll probably want to play this deck. So we'll continue on here and see if we can find something great. Oh man, this takes me back right here. This card right here, Mark.
Getting old school with it.
It's not too old school, but it takes me back to my better years in Magic. Oh, Blood Baron of Viscopa. Now, if you played back in the Theros block, If you play Black in the Theros block, this card used to really just wreck that standard because mono black was the best deck.
I love the way this guy looks.
Oh yeah, he's sweet. And he has lifelink for protection from black and from white. And as long as you have 30 or more life and your opponent has 10 or less life, it gets 6 + 6. So it becomes a 10-10 with lifelink protection from black and white. So when your opponent was playing the mono black deck, they can't beat this card. Like, there's very little like cards back in that format that could actually beat this card. And usually, you know, they would just scoop to you if you got this resolved on the battlefield. Now, that was my personal favorite story. Some people hated that format, but it was one of my favorites. All right, guys, we thank you again for joining us again. You can pick up any of these Commander decks on our website now.
And don't forget, we have the Arcane Wizardry, the Draconic Domination, and Feline Ferocity, which features my favorite art of all three of them.
Oh, yeah.
But to tell you the truth, since we started talking about this deck, I'm kind of feeling Edgar Markov
Man,
a little
Edgar
bit,
Edgar cannot do you wrong. Either if he does, he'll probably kill you.
And don't forget, we're going to be at DragonCon September the 1st through the 4th, and also Grand Prix DC. GPDC.
GPDC, people.
Also, September the 1st, September through the 3rd. And then Pack Crackers, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh,
This
yeah.
has been our Friday edition. We really appreciate everybody spending time with us.
Yep, and you can see us here at trolltoad.com, and we'll see you again later.